Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna have a look at the Sailor Tuzu. I bought this pen 1.5 years ago for my partner and she really likes it. So let's have a closer look. Unfortunately, I don't have the original packaging, but there were 2 cartridges and a converter included. Most of the pen is made out of shiny red plastic. Both of the ends are flat, there are no finials. The clip attaches with this metal piece that goes inside this made plastic sleeve. While it looks a little funny, the clip actually works quite well. On the other end, again, no finial, and the edges here are a little bit sharp. The cap is push-pull. It does take a little bit of force to uncap, so it will not uncap by accident, which I think is quite good. Inside the cap there is a liner and a spring, so a similar system that you see on the Platinum Preppy, and this works really well. The seal is as good as on the Platinum Preppy. And now we see a stainless steel medium nib that is engraved H on one side for heart and M on the other side. There is a Sailor logo as well, and to compare it with the Lamy Safari, this is quite a similar style of a nib. It's very slightly shorter and significantly wider than the one on the Lamy Safari. These ridges here are somewhat rounded. On the Lamy Safari, the ridges are much flatter and deeper. Tuzu's section is about 11 millimeters wide at the narrowest point, while Lamy Safari's section is only 9.5 millimeters wide. So I think this grip section is gonna work well for a lot more people than the one on the Lamy Safari. The grip section is also Tuzu's claim to fame because it's actually adjustable. So there is this metal ring that you can screw out, and then the grip section is made out of 2 separate pieces of plastic. The inner part has 4 notches, and then this part of the section does have ridges inside, and you can choose the exact position of the outer part of the grip section by rotating it in 10-degree steps. The outer part wobbles a little bit, but as soon as you secure it with the ring, it will stay in place firmly. And now we also see the included Sailor converter. The threads are a little bit strange, but they work. There is no O-ring to keep the pen body from accidentally unscrewing. However, this pen doesn't have a tendency to do so. The part of the body that has threads is actually a separate plastic piece that is inserted into the main part of the body. This edge on the body is a little bit sharp, but it generally doesn't bother me. The construction is okay overall, though there were some odd choices. The polished plastic does attract quite a lot of micro scratches. 835 millimeters capped, it's a little bit shorter than the Lamy Safari, and it doesn't feel too flimsy in the hand at 20.5 grams. 129 millimeters uncapped and 14 grams with the converter. It's a little bit shorter than the Lamy Safari, but still a pretty conventional size. It caps securely, but not that deeply. It's longer than even Jinhao 9019 or the Lamy Safari. Now let's have a look at how it writes. So the pen is the Sailor Tuzu, and the ink is Colorware's Blood Falls. The nib doesn't have any obvious issues, it's quite pleasant to write with and it has a little bit of feedback. The line it makes is about 0.55 millimeters, which is somewhere between fine and medium. Skipping there are no major issues. When it comes to wetness, it's completely acceptable, and when it comes to horizontal vertical stroke variation, there is maybe some, but not a lot of it. Flex, this is a fairly stiff nib, you will not get a lot of line variation out of it. Reverse, this is extremely smooth, no issues with the ink flow, and you get maybe a Japanese fine line. Last but not least, let's check for hard starts. That is pretty much perfect. The nib works really well overall. It's perfect for your everyday medium fine nib. These nibs aren't sold separately, but you can still pull out the nib and the feed out of the section if you want to clean the ink channels. The nib also has one more special feature. You only need to dip the nib into ink just enough to cover the breather hole when you are filling the pen. You don't need to submerge the section itself. This is commonly found on gold nib Japanese fountain pens, and it's nice to see that it made its way into a more affordable model. Ergonomically, I don't have any major complaints. The section is wide enough and the edges here do not bother me, even though they are sharp. Even the edge on the cap, it doesn't really dig into my hand, but this might be a problem for some people. Overall, I quite like this pen. The writing performance is very good. There are no issues with the nib. I like that the converter is included and the pen fits my hand. I don't consider the adjustable section a gimmick, but it's not a feature that I'm going to use. I don't like the sharp edges, and I would also welcome versions made out of matte material on the body and the cap, because the shiny plastic scratches a little bit too easily. And I think that for most people it's gonna be a better pen than the Lamy Safari. The cap seals much better, the converter is included, the grip section is wider, and the cutouts here aren't as prominent as the ones on the Safari. The main issue with this pen is the price on the Western markets. In Japan it only costs about 27 euros when converted. In the US it's around $40 and in Europe it's around 40 euros. The main advantage the Safari has over this one is that it has easily interchangeable nibs. With this pen you are stuck with the nib that you buy with this pen. But if that's not your priority, then I think the Tuzu is a better option. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!